Hi, my name's Gina, welcome to my channel. I'm going to do two videos this morning, one on my new records and one on my books, because there's going to be a fairly extensive discussion about the books. Videos on the LPs might be a bit shorter. The first one I got recently is the Elvis He Touched Me LP, which is one of the ones I think he got a Grammy Award for. This was brought out, this is in 1972, manufactured, this is an Australian pressing. And the record is just your standard tan label. What I found interesting about this record, or the cover, is the title listings of all Elvis's sacred selections on the back, and it's got all his gospel songs and what record they're on, the LPs, RP, some 45s, CAL, LSP, and with all the catalogue numbers. So that's an interesting way of finding out where they are, because when I had this one on cassette, and I was looking for something. I had the gospel, I had a CD with supposedly all Elvis's gospels on. But when I looked at the cassette, some of the songs on that weren't on this particular CD. And I thought, well, I want to replace my cassettes because they're starting to wear out and go all stupid when you put them in the cassette player. Rather have vinyls or CDs, but vinyls preferably because of the covers. So I found this one on eBay, and so now I think I've got all the gospel songs. But I played it, and it's a fabulous. I just love this LP. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to read out the tracks. Side 1. He touched me. I've got confidence. Amazing grace. Seeing is believing. He is my everything. Bosom of Abraham. Side 2. An evening prayer. Lead me, guide me. There is no God but God. A thing called love. I, John. And reach out to Jesus. And yeah, just listening to it brought tears to my eyes. Elvis, he really loved his gospel songs, did his music. Just beautiful. So I'm very happy to have that. The second LP set I got the other day, yesterday or the day before, is Elvis Styles. Another one I got on eBay. I saw this online, a review of it a little while ago. And I wasn't, at the time, I wasn't particularly interested. I thought, oh, yeah, it's just another one, a compilation of Elvis's songs. But I'm so glad I got this. First of all, because it's a beautiful gatefold. There's no booklet inside, but this is the cover. I'll make sure I get it all in on the camera. That's the outside, and then inside you've got these three beautiful photos, absolutely stunning photos. Now, before I go into, I get the LPs out, show you. I'll go through what it is. Sideways, I knew it was, the LP set was a mixture of the style of music that Elvis sang, but I didn't know anything about how it was set out. And I love the way it's set out. You've got 3 LPs, and each side of each LP is something different. So side 1 of the first LP is blues. Side 2 is country. The second LP, side 3, it's got gospel, and side 4 is movie songs from his movies. And it's funny, they include Mean Woman Blues and Blue Suede Shoes, because Blue Suede Shoes, well, yeah, it came, I think it was on a jukebox in one of his movies, GI Blues or something. So King of the Whole Wide World, yeah, but the rest of them are just from various movies. Okay, the last LP, third LP, is side 5 is European songs based on classic European melodies such as Tonight Is So Right for Love, It's Now or Never, and Surrender, and so on. And side 6 is Latin. Ito Eats, Kiss Me Quick, Fountain of Love, We'll Be Together. Yeah. So it's a really great compilation. Now the LPs are coloured vinyl, which doesn't really do anything for me, but it is what it is. But each LP on the sleeve has quite a lot of text, no more photos. The producers obviously thought the photos of the gatefold were enough. I can never have enough photos. I'm not really happy with this paper. I'm going to get the plastic inner sleeves. I think they're much easier to handle, because with the paper you find you've got to touch the LP, which I don't like doing, to get it out. Oh, gee, it's hard. Very messy. Now you've really got to tug at it, which is a nuisance. So this is actually the third LP, Elvis King of Styles European. So as you can see, it's sort of white with a pattern of some sort. I don't think the pattern's meant to represent anything. These are put out by VPI Records. So I'll just put that back in its proper spot in a minute. The second LP is grey, black and white, whatever you want to call it. Gospel and movies. And the third LP is, I can't find it, pink. So you've got the pink with a pattern on it. Like I said, it doesn't really do anything for me, but it is what it is. I've played them all. I played them all last night, and the day I got it, I think. And a lot of them, you know, you get these LPs thinking, oh yeah, I've got that. But no, a lot of them are outtakes and, you know, ones that haven't been released before. But reading the text on here is fabulous. On this particular one, they took Leonard Bernstein. Let me see it. Elvis Presley is the greatest cultural force of the 20th century. And the man he was talking to, composer of West Side Story and journalist Richard Cluman, said, what about Picasso? And Leonard Bernstein said, no, it's Elvis. He introduced rhythm into everything and he changed everything. Music, language, clothes. It's a whole new social revolution from which the 1960s came. So, yeah, I thought that was terrific. Now, that's been, I think, fairly well known that Leonard Bernstein made those comments. But there's another bit of text down here which really, really grabbed me. This is all about his singing style. And then on the back it's got the musicians. No, that's... Elvis is free. He does not confine himself to any style and will not follow the path of many who remain stuck in one style their entire lives. While he is, of course, the undisputed king of rock and roll, he immediately demonstrated not only exceptional vocal qualities, but the will not to be confined to a particular style. Thus, contrary to all expectations and far from any commercial action, he recorded what was dearest to his heart and soul, gospel, and this on several occasions, completely breaking away from what had made him successful. While people often tend to pigeonhole individuals, he is truly uncategorisable, unique. We know that, yeah. His voice underwent significant evolution over the 3 decades, though he demonstrated astonishing abilities as early as 1957 with My Wish Came True. His voice would reach almost limitless power in the 1970s. Stefan Rerat, a singing teacher, choir director and lyric singer, said, what is surprising is that we know he never took any lessons or worked on it. Well, we did work on his voice, I think. Charlie Hodge worked on his voice quite a lot with Elvis. Some may want to do opera by exaggerating the vibratos, but in Elvis's style, excuse me, there is a vibrato because he is a true singer. He could have been an opera singer if he had been immersed in that culture. Sometimes he has a baritone rather than tenor colour, a bit like Placido Domingo. Elvis manages to reach highs comparable to those of a lyric singer. There is no equivalent. I don't know anyone capable of doing the same. So that's that one. I'll be talking about his voice. Now this other second LP, where are we? Oh, yeah, has got some terrific text on it. This is about his costumes, about his clothing. Style is the way we express ourselves through our appearance and the things that surround us. Where is it? There's just something that's absolutely great. I mean, they quote a lot from Zoe Gotter, who wrote the book Elvis Style, From Zoot Suits to Jumpsuits, published in 2016, which I've got a copy of. Let me see. Goto emphasises that Elvis was a master observer and was intuitive. He absorbed the culture around him from the sounds and style of country, gospel and blues musicians. Rather than becoming an imitator, Elvis assembled these diverse cultural references, colours and prints to create something new in his music and his style. Let me see. She argues that Graceland and Elvis should feature more prominently in graduate design courses. It's a genuine oversight that young fashion students don't study Elvis's contribution to style, and interior design courses don't visit Graceland. Let me see. Where is there something really, really good? Oh, yeah. Okay. There is more simply Elvis, a creature of style and fashion, and this Elvis should be the easiest to understand. Yet even here, Elvis remains incredibly elusive. This is another journalist. Let me see, journalist Guy Trebay. He was many things. One of the things we should be grateful to him was his pioneering role in fashion. Everyone has a personal Elvis. He is there for all of us, lodged in the collective unconscious, one of few humans who can legitimately be called an icon, even if we don't always know exactly why. There is musical Elvis, sex symbol Elvis. Hi, gorgeous. Bro, got sidetracked. Las Vegas Elvis, Mississippi Elvis, Rockabilly Elvis, Hollywood Elvis, Warhol Elvis, and Imperial Elvis. After all, above all, there is Elvis the legend, a man whose humble origins and meteoric rise have been repeated so often that the details barely seem to describe a human who breathed the same air as all of us. Yeah. And then further down, oh yeah. Clad in these jumpsuits, Elvis projected an image destined to endure well beyond that of any other pop star, but also made him an almost divine figure. If proof is needed, just watch the final concert in 1977. Clad in his white suit with a Mexican sundial, adorned front and back with an image of the Aztec sunstone representing 5 consecutive worlds of the sun, Elvis moved slowly across the stage like a sacred idol, followed by a musician, Charlie, with a bundle of snow-white scarves. One by one, the assistant hands them to Elvis, who briefly wraps them around his neck to consecrate them before tossing them to the enthusiastic supplicants. At this point, Elvis surpassed the limits of fashion and celebrity, and as he was about to die soon, it was at this precise moment that Elvis Presley was apotheosized. I translate into becoming a saint. I wonder if they ever will. I wonder if they ever will make Elvis a saint. The saints seem to belong to, not generations, what's the word for it? Eras long before the 20th and 21st century. But if anybody is worthy of being called a saint, I think Elvis is. He brought so much happiness to the world. He was such a humanitarian. He was so generous. Now, people go on about, yes, he had his flaws, he was only human, and Elvis, I think, was aware of what people felt about him, and he tried very hard to prove that, yes, he was only a human being, but he was a remarkable human being, and I feel privileged to have lived in the era when he was still alive, and I was able to see him in person. And what that guy describes about him being almost superhuman. When he walked on the stage, you were mesmerised. You couldn't take your eyes off him. I remember on that night, I don't recall knowing much about his bands back then, Ronnie Tart and James Burton and so on, the Inspirations. I heard of them, but when Elvis was on the stage, I only saw Elvis. I wasn't aware of anyone else. I didn't hear or see the band or the backing singers. I did, but I think everybody was the same. Who was there? You just focused on Elvis. It just mesmerised you. Took your attention away from everything else. It was magic. Okay, that's my records. I'll finish this video and talk about my books. Thanks for watching. Bye.